SharePoint is a great product and it can do a lot of wonderful things for companies both large and small. Over the years, I've worked with a number of companies that have deployed SharePoint very effectively, but I've also seen some common risks and roadblocks that have reduced the effectiveness or in some cases even helped the project fail. So I'd like to touch on 3 of those today. The first is make sure that you have a clear set of business objectives. That set of business objectives has to have stakeholder approval. You've identified what those business objectives are by working with department managers or key personnel within those departments to understand what business issues they're facing. The second issue that you'll want to avoid, or at least make sure you've accounted for, is in the sufficient content planning. More often than not, I run across deployments where SharePoint was simply turned on, a document library was created, and content was copied from a file share and put right into a library. And the expected result was never met. There's no way in that scenario to meet most business objectives that are defined early in a project, a SharePoint deployment project. So take the time to identify what content you're going to be managing, what you're expecting to achieve with the improved content management capabilities of SharePoint. And to do so, I'd suggest working with an expert that's done that a number of times before. There's just no way that a novice is going to be able to establish the experience or the expertise to map the business objectives to the content planning and management needs of an organization. The third risk, or the third area that I'd recommend that you want to manage around, is in poor deployment scoping of your project. The initial release of a project, probably a short release cycle, somewhere around 6 weeks, should be effective in managing both the systems engineering aspect of your deployment, the servers and the hardware and the licensing, as well as the business content management and the user training. All 3 aspects must be managed, and they all must be mapped back to those original business objectives that you've identified in the early stages of your deployment planning. If you steer clear of these 3 risk areas in your deployment of SharePoint, I think you're going to have a much greater chance at success. Good luck to you.